You ever check your phone, see their name pop up, and your heart does a stupid little flip? Yeah, that one. The one you're not actually dating. The one who texts you at 2 a.m. but can't commit to a coffee date. You've had deep conversations, but if anyone asks, you just say, oh, we're just talking. If you've ever been stuck in that romantic purgatory, you've experienced the almost something effect. And you know it hurts. But here's the kicker. Sometimes it hurts more than a real breakup. Today, we're going to dissect why. My name is Gilg, and I think way too much about why almost relationships hurt more than actual breakups. If you're tired of emotional ambiguity, subscribe and like this video if it helps you. We need to talk about this. Here's the deal. We're taught relationships follow a neat playbook: meet, date, commit, breakup. There are rules and socially acceptable scripts for grieving. But what about the situationships, the almost lovers? There's no playbook for that. There's no social script for mourning a loss that no one officially recognized. We tell ourselves we don't have a right to be sad. I mean, you can't get your heart broken by someone you weren't even dating, right? Wrong. And if you felt that confusing pain, you know it. This isn't just a feeling. A recent YouGov poll found that half of adults between 18 and 34 have been in a situationship. This is a modern dating epidemic, and the emotional fallout is real. So why does it hurt so much? The first reason, you're not mourning a person, you're mourning a fantasy. In a real relationship, you see the whole person, the grumpy mornings, the stress, the flaws. The fantasy gets replaced by reality. But in an almost relationship, you only get the highlight reel, the witty texts, the late night talks. Your brain takes those highlights and builds a perfect, idealized version of what a relationship could be. This is the Zeigarnik effect, our tendency to remember uncompleted tasks better than completed ones. An almost relationship is the ultimate uncompleted task. Because it never concluded, your brain obsesses over it, desperately trying to close the open loop. You're not falling for the person, you're falling for the potential you've projected onto them. When it ends, you're losing the entire future you built in your head. That loss feels infinite because it was never constrained by reality. It's the ultimate haunting what if. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but it feels more addictive than that. Which brings me to the second most powerful mechanism: intermittent reinforcement. This is where love and addiction get blurry. It's the same principle that gets people hooked on slot machines. A slot machine doesn't pay out predictably, it pays out randomly. You pull the lever, nothing. Again, nothing. Then, just as you're about to walk away, jackpot. Your brain is flooded with dopamine. That unpredictable reward is intensely addictive. Now, map that onto your almost relationship, the hot and cold cycle. They text you constantly for 3 days, a jackpot. Then, radio silence for a week. Pulling the lever, getting nothing. Just as you're about to move on, you get a text that says, "Hey stranger, been thinking about you." Jackpot. That rush of relief is intoxicating. As experts in psychology today explain, this pattern creates a powerful addictive cycle. You're not in a relationship, you're playing a slot machine with your heart. Your brain's reward system has been hijacked. You're chasing the high of their validation, and the unpredictable nature of it makes it all the more potent. And the worst part, there's no closure. In a real breakup, there's usually a conversation, a reason. It's painful, but it's a clear ending. But the almost relationship just evaporates. The texts fade, the plans get vague, and then there's just silence. This is ambiguous loss, a loss with no resolution. Your brain craves answers, and when it doesn't get them, it makes them up, and they're almost always self-critical. Maybe I wasn't interesting enough. Maybe if I had just been more chill. You're left alone to write the ending, and you cast yourself as the villain. This is why it hurts so much. So, what do you do? How do you break free? Step 1, reclaim the narrative. They won't give you closure, so you have to manufacture it. Write it down. Articulate the ending. Say, the story of us was one of ambiguity. Their inconsistency is not a reflection of my worth, but of their capacity. I'm closing this chapter because I choose to stop asking the questions. The story is over. This act of defining the end is you taking back control. Step 2, kill the fantasy with reality. Your brain is clinging to a fantasy. Dismantle it. Take a piece of paper. On one side, list the fantasy. On the other, list the reality. How many times did they cancel plans? How many times did they leave you on red? How did you actually feel most of the time? Anxious? Insecure? When you look at the data, you'll realize the relationship was mostly anxiety. The fantasy was a lie. The reality was a low-quality connection that made you feel bad. Focus on the reality. Step 3, shift to an abundance mindset. The reason you're so fixated on this one person is because you're in a scarcity mindset. You think this connection is rare. That's like putting all your money into one volatile stock. It's a terrible strategy. Their inability to commit is not about your value, it's about their limits. Diversify your emotional portfolio. This isn't about frantically swiping on dating apps, it's about building your own intrinsic value. Invest in your friends, your hobbies, your goals, and your well-being. When you build a life rich with purpose, you stop seeing their inconsistent text as a jackpot. You see them for what they are, scraps, and you deserve a whole meal. Look, the pain is real, but it's not a life sentence. Understanding the psychology is your key to breaking free. Your feelings are valid, but they don't have to be your future. So take a deep breath, acknowledge the hurt, and then choose yourself. Choose clarity. Choose a love that feels like coming home, not like waiting for a slot machine to pay out. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more content that helps you navigate modern life and love with your sanity and self-worth intact. You've got this.